Hey, welcome to the Michaud Mission, 2 Men, 1 podcast, every black film ever made. My name is Len, aka the Bat Tribble. And as always, I'm joined by my partner.
Hey, what's going on? This is Vincent Williams.
Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we are still pleasantly entrenched in June 2022, which is Black Music Month.
Yes, sir.
And as we are celebrating some of the luminaries of Black music this month, tonight it is Vincent's selection from 1988, a Clint Eastwood joint.
Yes.
We are
I see what you did there.
We are reviewing Forest Whitaker as Charlie Parker, aka Bird. Our selection for tonight's review on the Michaud Mission. But before we get into that, we want to thank each and every one of you out there who are watching us as we are streaming live via StreamYard to Facebook, YouTube, as well as to Twitch, and each and every one of you out there who are saying hello to us from the chat. I'm just making a quick glance. I see Robert Monroe Jr., Sharon Eldridge, Sean Simmons, Aaron Fry, and many more. Good evening.
Good evening, one and all.
Before we get into the business of show tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we have to ask you to join us in celebrating June 7th.
Yes.
The birthday,
yes,
of one Prince Rogers Nelson.
Happy birthday, Prince. Happy birthday. If we're talking about Black Music Month,
that's right.
We should talk about Prince.
He was born June 7th in 1958. Unfortunately, he passed way too soon.
Oh, my goodness.
In April of 2016, Prince, widely regarded as one of the greatest musicians of his generation, I dare say of all time.
I would absolutely say of all time.
Yeah.
I would absolutely say of all time. So listen to some Prince today, folks, if you haven't been listening to it already.
Let me ask you.
Yes, sir.
If you had to, just real quick,
okay,
give someone 3 Prince records.
3 Prince albums. So albums.
Well, let's say songs.
Or songs.
Let's say songs.
3 Prince songs.
Prince songs to give them an embodiment of what Prince was, as well as what he meant to you. 3 songs.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Take Me With You from Purple Rain.
Really? Now that's surprisingly a deep cut.
That was actually my surface level cut.
Well, and I guess anything off of Purple Rain.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah. If I Was Your Girlfriend, off a Sign of the Times. And then my deep cut, because I feel like you have to do a B-side to really do Prince. I would do probably, I guess Irresistible Bitch might be the most famous B-side, but right up there with it would, of course, be How Come You Don't Call Me Anymore.
See,
so those would be my 3.
See, this is why we're partners.
Okay.
Because Why Don't You Call Me No More would definitely be one of my 3.
Yeah.
Definitely be one of my 3. I probably would pull Baby. Well, I want to say Baby I'm a Star, but I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there. Actually, you know what song kind of like it's silly, it's quaint, it's whatever, but it tickles me and I love it. Raspberry Beret.
It's a great song.
I love Raspberry
It's a
Beret.
greet song, especially when you listen to the lyrics, because what she's saying is that she's stupid and she's naked.
Yes. So Raspberry Beret, Why Don't You Call Me No More?
It's like this beautiful girl with a hat on pushing into a door that says pull.
Okay. And then, and I don't know if this was the deep cut because I think it was a single, but it certainly was not a hit. Mm-hmm. Well, it wasn't a huge hit because, but it may be one of my favorite Prince songs, and that's "Call My Name."
That's a good one. Oh, that's a little later too.
I know.
Okay,
but I absolutely love that. I love that. It's crazy. I was thinking about this the other day because I listen to like all three of those songs at least once a week.
What album is that on?
That is on. It is. Oh man, I can see the cover because it's his fate. Hold on. I'm gonna pull it because I hate you. It is Musicology.
Okay.
2004.
Yeah.
I was going to say Musicology.
It's a solid album.
It is.
That's a solid album.
It's one of his, later albums, but it's a good album. But that is one of my favorite Prince songs, and for it to be one of his later ones, that's kind of interesting. The same way as with Michael Jackson, my favorite Michael Jackson song is "Heaven Can Wait," which is off of like.
I mean, that's the posthumous. That's
that's
not off of Invincible.
That's not Invincible. Wasn't no. It is off of Invincible, but Invincible wasn't posthumous. I don't believe.
Yeah.
No, I don't believe that's in posthumous.
You're right. It wasn't posthumous.
It came out like.
Did he die?
Yeah.
When Invincible was out,
I think. Yeah. Well, probably.
But you're right, because that's the album that infamously he didn't want to release Butterflies.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, I love Heaven Can Wait.
Is that House of Jazz too? Like, I know it was a couple of Philly joints on there besides Butterflies.
House of Jazz, ain't it?
Yeah, right, because Marsha Ambrosius wrote it, I think House of Jazz produced it.
Produced
Butterflies.
Yes,
but I thought it was a couple of songs on there.
They didn't do "Call My Name."
Okay,
I mean,
Heaven Can Wait.
Heaven Can Wait.
Yeah,
I'm not sure who produced it, but I'm pretty sure they did.
Yeah,
but I could be wrong. Someone will correct me.
Yeah, it's a good song.
No, I like it.
Yeah,
I like that song. But yeah. So anyway, happy birthday!
Happy birthday to Prince.
Yes, yeah. And Sean Simmons let me know that Invincible was 2001, 2002. So yeah, and he died much later.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Like I said, I just I just remember the word was he didn't think Butterfly should have been released. And I was like, how you release Speed Demon, but you don't want to release Butterflies?
Thank you.
We're keeping it positive. Happy birthday to Prince.
Yes. Robert Monroe Jr. says, when I want to turn someone on to Prince, I show them his guitar solo While My Guitar Gently Weeps at the George Harrison tribute concert.
Yeah, that's very much a moment where Prince reminded people who he was.
Well, that and
that's a great moment.
That and you can go to his Super Bowl halftime show. Yeah, which is still, I don't care what anybody says, the best Super Bowl halftime show.
Yeah, look, Lynn gently chastised me before the show. He said we're gonna try and keep it on schedule. Then he I thought we were gonna say happy birthday to Prince and then just keep it. But did. Now they just released that that Purple Rain concert. The live Purple Rain concert from like Minnesota or something. I was listening to it this weekend, and his band is so tight that
the Purple Rain, that's the Revolution, right?
Yeah, that's the Revolution. And for a couple of songs, you forget you're listening to a live version because they're so tight and so polished.
Okay, but let me ask you, are they so tight that it is coming off like the album?
It's definitely live.
Okay.
Yeah, but it does sort of sound, like I said, it's just the level of polish that you get. Syracuse, it was live at Syracuse.
Okay.
All right. But yeah, that's the Revolution. I thought you were going to start asking about Prince bands.
I'm not going
like, who's your favorite Prince band? Like, what band was?
No,
all right.
I'm sure you could go in.
Look, we will keep
that, but we're not. We're on schedule.
Was Larry Graham still in his band for musicology?
I don't think so.
I like that Larry Graham configuration. Like that was a funky band.
I don't think so. Maybe he returned for that.
Yeah, but I like that period with Larry Graham.
Let's.
Okay. Okay, no, come on, go.
You ain't scared. I ain't scared of you. Let's get into our listener mail.
All right.
I'm waiting for you.
You're waiting for me to what? You have the mail. I can't read it.
Yes, but what do you?
Oh, I'm sorry. Missives from the missionaries. I was like, Lord, do I have a letter?
No, but we've got a letter for you.
Oh, Lord.
Greetings again from Louisiana. It's Anthony Sterling, aka the Correction Department.
What's up, Anthony? Oh, Lord. What?
I returned with another fun correction.
What is the correction?
During episode 303,
okay,
our review of Miles Ahead.
Yes.
During the 6 Degrees of D'Urville Martin.
Oh, come on.
As Vince was connecting D'Urville Martin to Jennifer Connelly.
Yes.
He places her in The Incredible Hulk with Edward Norton. Sorry to say that while she was in a movie about Marvel's gamma-radiated Goliath, it's not the 2008 one that starred Ed Norton as Bruce Banner and Liv Tyler as Betty Ross.
See? And that's exactly what I said.
Hold your applause. She was in, actually, the 2003 Ang Lee directed Hulk, which starred Eric Bana as Bruce.
Oh.
And Jennifer played Betty. Now, don't let this correction get you down, because the silver lining is this proves Vincent's theory that you can replace Jennifer Connelly with Liv Tyler and it will make no difference as true and proven scientific fact.
They actually played the same character.
That's very true.
And I didn't. Did you know that?
No, because I knew she was in a Hulk movie. So when you said
Ed Norton,
I said,
right?
Okay, yeah, it sounds like
it's just
that was the one.
Well, there you go.
But no, we were wrong. Continue the fantastic work, and I hope you were able to get your toasted almond bars. Signed, Anthony Sterling.
Thank you, Anthony. All right. So the gauntlet has been thrown.
The gauntlet has been thrown.
When we do it tonight, we're gonna be right and correct.
Yes.
All right.
We have to.
All right. Thank you, Anthony.
We also heard from Stephen Hendricks.
Hey, what's up, Stephen?
What's up, guys? This is in regards to Nia Long's The Godfather.
Give us a call, Paramount.
I enjoyed your Miles Ahead episode a lot. I was cracking up at work, especially during the Nia Long segment. I totally like to see an all Nia Long version of The Godfather, maybe even Scarface. Much love, Stephen.
I mean, she's a thespian of many talents, so she could absolutely do it.
She absolutely could. So thank you. That was a lot of fun.
That
actually was quite fun. And we broke it out from the show and put it up on social media where people have been enjoying it. So check us out on Instagram, our reels on Instagram, and check that out. It's a lot of fun. It was insane. It was insane. All right. Let's keep this party moving.
Keep the train going.
Yes. That was our listener mail.
All right. Thank you, one and all.
And now it's time to get into our segments.
All right. We've got segments.
All right. We've got segments, and both segments tie in some way to the film that we are reviewing this evening.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
So first up, let's get to the top 5.
Okay.
Top 5. Who's your top 5? My top 5 is. My top 5 is. My top 5 is. My top 5 is.
All right, top 5, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
All right, we got theme music. So,
All right.
So that means it's not going anywhere.
I'll say it's real.
I didn't hear from y'all saying that y'all wanted to leave, so now it's staying because it's got theme music. So you're stuck with it. That's how. That's
in this case, silence is consent.
Exactly. All right, now tonight's top 5, and I was mulling over exactly what I wanted to do for our top 5 this week. Right?
Okay.
Because we're talking about Charlie Parker.
Yes, we are.
We're talking about jazz.
Yes, we are.
We're talking about Forest Whitaker.
We are.
So did I want to do top 5 Forest Whitaker movies?
Yeah.
Did I want to do top 5 jazz movies?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. That's too easy. Clint Eastwood is the director. Clint Eastwood is now probably equally as famous as a director as he was an actor.
Isn't that interesting?
Right.
Yeah.
But he's still an actor. He was an actor first.
Yeah.
So I want to do the best actors turned directors. I didn't know which way I wanted to go. I was mulling it over with our co-producer, Maurice, and then I hit upon something.
Okay.
Charlie Parker, his nickname is Yardbird.
Yes.
But they shorten it and they call him Bird.
Yes.
That's the title of the movie.
That's the title of the movie.
Bird. And that's a great nickname.
It is.
It was a great nickname. And even Maurice suggested maybe we do the top 5 jazz nicknames.
Okay. I like it.
I like that too. And I started researching.
Okay.
And when I happened upon not 1, not 2, not 3, but 20 different guys who went by the name of Doc, I said, okay.
All right.
This is not going to work.
Well, you pick one and then but okay.
I mean, you got Bird, you got Satchmo,
yeah.
And then how unique are the rest?
I mean, you got Dizzy.
Okay, you got Dizzy,
you got Cab,
and that's it. Everyone else is Sonny.
You got Joe. You got Philly.
Sonny,
you got Philly Joe Jones. He's the Joe Jones that's from Philly.
Yeah, but is that really a great nickname?
I mean,
you know,
I like it.
There's 82 Docs. There's 105 Sonnies. There's 96 Buddies.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is not going to work.
Okay.
So then I went another way.
Okay.
So I present to you, Vincent.
Okay.
The top 5 iconic birds of movie history.
I'll take it.
You like that?
I like that.
All right.
All right.
So the top 5 iconic birds of movie history, starting with number 5.
Number 5 most iconic birds in film history.
Right.
Okay.
Number 5 is the penguins from Penguins of Madagascar.
So just as a group.
As a group.
Because
you can't just take out one of those penguins.
They don't really stand alone.
No, they don't.
Okay.
And they operate as a unit.
They do.
As a tight unit. As
right.
A tight, like military combat unit almost.
Right. There can't be one.
No.
It can't be like Penguin Ghost Protocol.
No, it cannot.
Right. Okay.
It cannot.
All right.
So
that's a good group.
The Penguins of are you familiar with them?
Of course I am. I have children.
You do.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed them.
Hey, look.
And I was, I was sorry that they didn't catch on like the Minions.
Right.
Because I could have lived for more movies of the Penguins of Madagascar.
Right. Just doing stuff.
Yeah. Even though I think they did go to Saturday morning cartoons, or
I'm sure.
Yeah.
That seems like some money DreamWorks wouldn't have left on the table.
No, they don't leave much out there.
Yeah.
So that's number 5.
Okay.
All right. Then number 4. Mumble, aka Happy Feet.
I was about to say, no one actually knows his name. We all just call him Happy Feet.
Yeah, you figured that.
Right.
I honestly thought that was his name.
Right. You had to look it up.
I said, because I didn't want the corrections department coming at me.
Right.
Actually, his name is
right.
Mumble.
I was about to say it's actually Frankenstein. Frankenstein is the name of the scientist.
Exactly.
Right.
So
right.
Mumble from 2006 is Happy Feet.
Yeah.
Which is look, I defy anyone to watch that movie and not smile with glee.
Okay, Happy Feet is a good movie.
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
Yeah.
This little penguin just tapping, dancing all over the place.
And it's got the nerve to be a little ambitious at the end. When they blow up the world and he gets, not blow up the world as a plot point.
Right.
Like maybe people haven't seen Happy Feet. I don't want them to think that it ends with the world.
No. This is not Ice Age.
Or Beneath the Planet of the Apes. When they blow, they kind of blow the world out and move him to the aquarium and kind of go from there. Yeah, I really, really like Happy Feet.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed Mumble. And he is, I think, rightfully number 4.
Yeah. I'm hoping Savion Glover is still getting checks.
I hope so, too.
Yeah.
Number 3.
Now,
number 3, if I remember my order correctly, this might be a Vince special.
Okay. All right.
Oh, no. It's Iago
from Aladdin. Yeah, because he's named after Shakespeare, one of my favorite Shakespeare characters.
No. This is not the one I meant.
Because it's Gilbert Gottfried?
Because it's Gilbert Gottfried. That's what it means to me.
Yeah.
It's voiced by Gilbert Gottfried, who recently passed away.
Mm-hmm.
He's funny. He may be one of the 3 best things in the first Aladdin. Of course, we've got Robin Williams.
I was trying to think of a third thing.
Well, I actually like the music.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
And then there's Iago.
Right.
And this famously, I don't know if you know about this. There was a young boy who suffered from some mental affliction and was not speaking.
Mm-hmm.
And it was not until hearing, I think his father was watching the documentary of Gilbert Gottfried called Gilbert, and he heard Gilbert speaking and realized that was the voice of Iago.
Okay.
And then he started talking again.
Oh, that's a sweet story.
Yeah. So it was a really cool story.
Hopefully it wasn't Gilbert Gottfried telling the aristocrats joke.
Well, no, not in his documentary.
Okay.
Did you ever see the documentary Gilbert?
I did not.
You should see that. I believe it's on Hulu.
Okay.
It was done probably about a year or 2 ago.
Okay.
And it takes a really look behind the clown that is Gilbert. And it really is very good. It gives you a new appreciation for the man.
Okay. They're a little early tonight.
They're early.
They're early in there.
They're
keeping it moving. All right.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Iago, number 3.
Now, number 2. This is the Vince special.
Oh, the Vince special, number 2.
Number 2.
Okay, what we got? Isabel
from Lady Hawk.
Yeah, she's a lady during the day.
No, at night. She's a lady at night and a hawk.
Right, she's a hawk during the day because Rutger Hauer is a wolf at night.
Yes.
And they are separated.
Yes, even though they are desperately
in love. They got the curse put on them.
Yes. And that's Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yes, it is.
Now,
I don't know how iconic this is.
Well, it's only here's the thing.
It's like me and other baby boomers. I mean, Gen Xers.
There's a lot of people that champion for Lady Hawk.
It's a lot of Are there a lot of Lady Hawk people?
There's a lot of Lady Hawk fans.
I thought it was like 14 of us.
No.
And 2 of them was me and my brother.
Well, y'all all had kids. So, yes, there are a lot of Lady Hawk fans. And I was, don't get me wrong, I was surprised by how many there were too. But there are a lot of Lady Hawk
You're
fans.
You're surprising me right now.
That really enjoy this movie. Now, my caveat for my listing are that these are movies that I have to have seen.
Right.
And I wasn't sure if I'd seen Lady Hawk.
But then you remember you were alive during the 80s.
Well, honestly, what I did was I watched it.
Okay.
To make sure.
Okay.
And it's an 80s movie.
It's very much an 80s.
It's an 80s movie.
What kind of cocaine was somebody doing when they pitched Lady Hawk? And then another guy said, make it. Get Matthew Broderick's people on the phone.
But it's cute. I can see why people like it. And I can see why people would, champion, because, the tortured love affair that they can't really ever touch.
That's right. Until it's the eclipse.
Right.
And it's day and night at the same time.
Right. So it's cool. It's real cute. It's
I love Lady Hawk.
So, yes. Well, I can't say I love it, but I appreciate it. And enough that I put her above Iago.
You put her above Iago.
All right. Now, before I reveal my number one, I don't have banners for, but I want to give a honorable mention.
Okay.
To two birds.
Okay.
And that would be two ducks specifically.
Oh.
Daffy Duck.
Of course.
And Donald Duck.
Of course.
Who probably, if I'm being honest, would probably be the first birds of motion pictures.
Mm-hmm.
But technically, all of the short films that they're most famous for, especially Daffy Duck, while they were released to motion picture houses in their day, when they debuted, they were still short cartoons. Right. So then I looked at, all right, well, what feature films did the two of them do?
Okay.
And Daffy's, most of his feature films were just compilations of his old stuff.
Sure.
And the ones where it's not a compilation, it's kind of like those all-star things. So he's not like the star of the story.
Right.
And Donald really doesn't star in a lot of full-length features. Except that one.
What is it? The three
Caballeros.
Was that full length?
See, it technically is full length, but it actually is three shorter films, of which the main one is the Three Caballeros.
Interesting.
But it actually is short films that they kind of packed and marketed as a feature length. So
I did not know that until this exact second.
So I did not want to count that.
Do you remember what year that was?
Oh, that's the 40 something.
Wow, that long ago.
Oh yeah. I mean, Daffy made his debut in 1941.
Right, that's why I thought the Three Caballeros.
Not even 41. Before the war.
I thought the Caballeros.
I'm pretty sure this is Caballeros.
I thought that was the 50s.
Was it? Maybe it was the 50s.
Okay.
Maybe it was the 50s. Either way,
it
doesn't count.
Okay.
But I wanted to give an honorable mention to them.
And well, you should.
Because they are deserving of it.
Yes, and I'm surprised you didn't fold in
who?
Uncle Scrooge.
Well, see, that's because Uncle Scrooge never did a feature length film.
Never did a feature length. Was DuckTales the first animated Uncle Scrooge?
I don't think it was the first animated, but the first significant animation. I believe it certainly was the first animation of a Carl Barks story. I think he shows up in, I want to say like one of those wraparounds for Disney or something like that.
I like to point out that you're the one that has us adrift right now because you're in your duck bag.
I was about to move on.
I'm just saying.
But then you asked about Uncle Scrooge.
I know. You wanted me to ask about Uncle Scrooge.
I actually thought you were going to go Big Bird.
No, you wanted to talk about Uncle Scrooge.
I mean, you want me to get my Uncle Scrooge
I was about to say, you got that big old, well, if we must talk about Uncle Scrooge. All right.
Well, now you asked a good question. What was the first?
What's the first?
Uncle Scrooge. I'm going to look that up. Because I want to know. Because it may have been DuckTales. I don't know. Let's find out. Uncle Scrooge. First appearance was Christmas on Bear Mountain. But I think that may have been the comic.
Right. That's the comic.
That's the comic.
Yeah.
First appearance, first recurring, first hint. Yep. It was It was DuckTales.
Yeah,
It was
that makes
DuckTales.
sense.
It was DuckTales.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And there you go. All right. So, number one. The number one iconic bird of movie history.
Higher than Isabeau from Lady Hawk.
Higher than Isabeau. Higher than Daffy and Donald, even though they're my honorable mention. Higher than any bird that you can come up with.
Okay.
And that would be the titular birds
from the birds.
From the bird.
Yeah. Yeah.
From
that's a good set of birds.
The Alfred Hitchcock movie.
Yeah.
Now, let me point out something that only came to me as I was compiling this list.
Okay.
And tell me if you agree with where I'm going here.
Okay.
You've seen The Birds, I take it.
Yes.
For those who haven't seen The Birds is an Alfred Hitchcock film from 1963 that stars Tippi Hedren. And it is about a New England seaport town that is slowly overrun by birds.
Yes.
And it is birds of all sorts. There are seagulls, there are ravens, there are crows, there are all sorts, all varieties of birds just descend upon this seaport New England town. Right now, at first, when the movie starts off, there's a little bit of a folderol. I don't know if that's the right word, but that's one of your words. When these canaries are in a cage and they're like all a twitter and they're all buzzing and nobody knows what's going on. And then slowly and surely, methodically, one bird comes, two birds come, one bird dives down and jabs Tippi Hedren on her head as she's on a boat crossing the ferry. And then there's like more birds show up, and the birds are like killing people. They're attacking school children. They completely devour a teacher on her porch. And the citizens of the town, they don't know what to do at first.
Because what do you do?
At first, it's dismissive. It's birds. Yeah. It's just birds. Yeah. But then they realize, oh my God, it's birds.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what can we do against these birds?
Right.
And these birds are just taking over the town.
Right.
And eventually, their only recourse is to leave.
Yes.
They leave. They just say, y'all can have the town.
Yes, no doubt.
Is this movie a metaphor for white flight?
No.
No.
Because black people and brown people were never aggressive when they moved into these neighborhoods. Like people just sort of moved.
No, of course.
Right.
No, we weren't aggressive.
Right.
But they thought we were.
Yeah, but see, these birds were actually aggressive.
Well, okay.
Yeah, they were actually aggressive.
You don't think that they're trying to play that out?
I don't. Yeah, I think if anything,
Alfred Hitchcock was a complicated man.
Right. I would actually fold that into, and I know it's 63. But I actually think about birds in that tradition of the 50s science fiction that is a reaction to the fear of the atomic bomb and atomic energy, and it turns and it turns nature upside down. Like what we're doing goes against nature, so the nature is going to go against us. Like you said, you mentioned them, which is about giant ants, and of course Godzilla. But and it was food of the gods, and so that's what I always think about when I want to make it a genre thing, a science fiction-y thing.
Okay.
But if anything, I like it as Alfred Hitchcock thing, where things just go wrong. Because the thing that horrifies me most about the birds, it's never explained.
No,
why the bird? No, like it's never
not at all.
Like you said, the resolution is that everybody leaves.
They just leave.
Yeah. So,
all right.
Well, that's a good one.
The birds were the most iconic birds
Yeah, absolutely.
of movie history.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say if people have seen one Alfred Hitchcock film, it's probably The Birds.
Yeah, that probably is either that or Psycho.
Yeah, you're right about
Psycho.
Psycho is so well known. I forgot it was an Alfred Hitchcock film.
Right.
I know.
Yeah.
So,
are either of them your favorite Alfred Hitchcock movie?
I'm a Rear Window dude.
You know what? I'm a Rear Window dude too, but then
I like old Jimmy Stewart
1,000 times.
Yeah.
My favorite Alfred Hitchcock movie is Rope.
Rope's good,
which is old Jimmy Stewart.
I was about to say also a bit of a deep cut.
Deep cut.
Deep cut.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
I like Rear Window. You of course, North by Northwest.
I don't like North by Northwest.
Really?
I don't like North by Northwest.
You don't like Old Cary Grant?
I like Old Cary Grant. I just think that I think it's overrated.
That's fair.
I think it's very overrated.
I think it is overrated, but I also think it's really good.
No.
Or like
see, I like young Cary Grant in Notorious.
Oh yeah, well that's good stuff right
there.
That's
great.
Yeah, that's Strangers on a Train, is that Hitchcock?
That is Hitchcock.
Yeah, I like Strangers on a Train.
Forrest Granger and Robert Taylor.
Yeah.
That's a good movie. That's a good movie too. I've seen that.
Yeah, I like Strangers on a Train.
That's a good one. You know.
Third Man, is that Hitchcock or Orson Welles?
Orson Welles stars in it. Technically, he doesn't direct it.
Who directed Third Man?
I forget. The story is that they say Orson Welles maybe directed it in shadow, but technically he's not the director of that.
And I'm not the old movie dude like you are, but I do like there's a set of them that I like a lot. And that's my speed right there. That kind of Hitchcock speed.
Okay.
So
you expand your horizon.
Yeah, well,
expand.
I mean, now I gotta go home and watch Lady Hawk again.
There you go.
It's only so many hours in the day.
That's true.
But well done.
Top
you. 5.
Top 5.
Everybody go watch The Birds and Lady Hawk.
And now it's time for
That's the key. Why you would be surprised what a person can do with just a sense of touch and a sense of sound.
6 Degrees of Dervell Martin, where Vincent will have 6 movies
or less
to get to an actor of my choosing.
Okay.
Beginning with 70s superstar.
Yeah.
Dervell Martin.
The icon.
Now, in choosing our celebrities for this evening's game, and thinking of our film Bird from 1988.
Yes.
But knowing I can't go to black movies from 1988.
Watched a lot of black movies in 88.
I bet you did.
Yeah, I was quite black in 88.
You were. It's amazing. But I did go to another film that came out in 1988.
Okay.
And these actors are both from this film. So this film is off the table.
This film is off the table because these are actors that you have chosen from said film.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that film is one of the biggest hits of 1988.
Okay.
Which would be Young Guns.
Young Guns. Okay.
Yes. So Vince,
it's a pretty target-rich environment. See who you're going to pick from there.
In 6 films or less, get from Dervell Martin
to
Emilio Estevez.
Okay.
Who played a young Billy the Kid.
He did. Do you want to be famous? Remember, that was his line.
That was his line.
Emilio Estevez. Interesting.
Well, we know what that means.
Okay. How am I going to get to Emilio Estevez? I am going to use
a lifeline.
No. Because I'll just tell you how I'm working. I'm in my I'm in my Rat Pack bag.
Rat Pack.
Not Rat Pack. I'm sorry. Brat Pack.
Yeah.
Not Rat Pack. Brat Pack. Okay. Vel Martin was in
And I got to be really a stickler this time because I'm tired of getting emails.
No.
Messages from Louisiana.
Yeah, no doubt. Who was he in Repo Man with?
Who, Emilio?
Yeah, is that Robert? That's not Robert Duvall, is it?
In Repo Man?
Yeah.
No, it's not Robert Duvall.
Who's he in Repo Man with?
He stars in Repo Man with Harry Dean Stanton.
Harry Dean Stanton. Harry Dean Stanton has come up.
He's in everything.
All right.
I just made a connection.
Yeah, it's a shame too, because I'd actually probably use Young Guns. All right. I know there's a lot of dead air. I'm trying to get to. Okay. Oh. All right. Dervo Martin is, of course, in Sheba Baby. With Pam Grier, who's in Foxy Brown with Samuel L. Jackson.
Yes.
Samuel L. Jackson is in Emilio Estevez.
Yes.
So he's in Young Guns. He's in. See, my problem is I'm mixing up who's in St. Elmo's Fire.
I don't think he's in St. Elmo.
Oh, I know he's not. I'm trying to link him up with
one of the guys
with the Brat Pack. Wait. Emilio Estevez is in The Outsiders?
I will tell you in a moment if Emilio Estevez is in The Outsiders. He is indeed.
Oh, all right.
In The Outsiders.
Well, there you go. There you go, right there. And I'm going to
buy a vowel.
Start all over again.
I'm going to leave all of this in there.
Dervo Martin is in Sheba Baby with Pam Grier. Pam Grier is in Grease Lightning with Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor is in. Damn, I just lost it. Richard Pryor. Oh, Richard Pryor is in Which Way Is Up with Margaret Avery. Margaret Avery is in The Color Purple with Whoopi Goldberg. How many am I on now?
That's about 4.
Whoopi Goldberg is in Ghost with Patrick Swayze, who's in The Outsiders with Emilio Estevez.
Okay.
I know it's a shorter way to get to him, but I'm
looking through Derville Martin's filmography, and I thought
I'm real tied up. Like the Brat Pack really jumbled me up.
I thought he was in a movie that James Brown was in, but maybe not.
Yeah.
He wasn't.
Emilio Estevez was in a lot of stuff in the 90s that I can't remember.
Yeah. Well, you could have gone just quicker. You could have gone Black Caesar to get to Fred Williamson.
Okay.
And then Fred Williamson to Three the Hard Way with Jim Brown.
Okay.
And then Jim Brown to The Dirty Dozen.
Okay.
With Harry Dean Stanton.
Right. Who's in Repo Man. Yeah. Yeah. Quietly, it's Young Guns, The Mighty Ducks, The Outsiders. Wasn't he in a movie with Charlie?
Probably.
Were the Sheens in a movie?
I feel like they all three.
I feel like all three of them were in a movie, but I don't remember the movie.
And he did another movie. This is a movie that people were like kind of shouting out. And I think they confused with Repo Man. He was in Stakeout.
Who's he in Stakeout with?
I believe that was with Richard Dreyfuss.
Yeah. Stakeout's pretty good.
Yeah, it was fun. They did another Stakeout called Another Stakeout.
Right.
Yeah. All right.
It was ugly, but I'll take it.
This one
also from Young Guns.
All right. And in Young Guns, he played the character Jose Chavez.
Oh, damn, I was hoping you weren't going to pick him.
I thought he would be the hard one.
Yeah.
So Vince.
Yeah.
In 6 movies or less, get from Derville Martin.
Oh God,
to Lou Diamond Phillips.
Lou Diamond Phillips. Shit. Oh my God, because the only thing I know, Lou Diamond Phillips is in La Bamba. He's in Young Guns.
And then he pretty much
wait. Okay.
I have him up.
Lou Diamond Phillips. Is he in Stand and Deliver?
Yes.
With what's my man's name?
That would be Edward James Olmos.
Edward James Olmos. Oh, Captain boom, done. Derville Martin is in The Final Come Down with Billy D. Williams. Billy D. Williams is in The Empire Strikes Back with Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford is in Mother Truckin' Blade Runner with Edward James Olmos, who's in Stand and Deliver with Lou Diamond Phillips.
Edward James Olmos is in Blade Runner?
Come on, man. You are so disrespectful to Blade Runner that, like, it is only our dear friendship that I ignore the continuous disrespect that you have for one of the greatest science fiction films ever made. Come on, man. Stop.
I don't remember.
He's the mysterious lieutenant dude who does the origami.
Yes, I seem to remember that.
Come on. He does the origami at a unicorn. That's how you know that Decker is a replicant, because he knows what Decker has been dreaming about. That's why you have to watch the director's cut with the dream sequence about the unicorn. She won't live, you know, but then none of us, come on, stop.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
Yes. Edward James Olmos is indeed in Blade Runner.
Okay. Well,
yes.
Well done, Vincent. Well done.
Doesn't feel well because you're so disrespectful. Oh, he was in Blade Runner, but there. Next, you'll be telling me did you know Rutger Hauer is also in Blade Runner?
I do remember that.
Did you know that?
He turns into a wolf at night.
Oh. The things I've seen. Come on, man. So disrespectful.
No. I like Blade Runner. I dig it. There can only be one.
All right. That's enough out of you. Mr. Jokey Joke.
Oh God. Anyway. Well, there you go.
There you go.
6 degrees
go.
of D'Urville Martin. See, you took so long on Emilio Estevez.
I know.
I thought you were going to fly through Emilio Estevez
it's
and get stuck on Lou Diamond Phillips.
Yeah.
So I actually had a third one ready.
I know.
But you took so long, I can't get
we don't even have time.
No,
can you tell me who it is, though?
Terrence Stamp.
Yeah, I can't do him real quick.
He was in
Wait, is that Superman?
He was in Young Guns.
Is that Zod?
That is Zod.
Oh, I can get to Zod real quick. Yeah.
But thinking,
Yeah.
So we don't need it.
Yeah, you get to Zod real quick. But okay.
All right.
Why do you say these things when you know that I will kill you for it?
That's from Blade Runner.
Sidney Poitier, Diane Carroll, Gene Hackman, Terrence Stamp.
All people who turned down Blade Runner.
Yes. Guess who's coming to dinner? The Split. Superman. That's how you get from D'Urville Martin to Terrence Stamp.
You take me out how after you take forever on one,
I know
you always just want to flex.
Yeah,
they're still impressed. You left them impressed.
It's Emilio Estevez. It's like, what is he in exactly?
You did well.
Right. It's like, is somebody in the Mighty Ducks with him?
No.
Him and a bunch of kids.
No. They didn't even make the top iconic birds.
Right. You know what? Can't tell you. I mean, that's not really a secret. I guess it doesn't really change anything. I've never actually seen the Mighty Ducks.
Me neither. Olivia didn't want to see it, so I didn't have to see it.
But people talk about the Mighty Ducks.
Because I guess it's
a thing.
It's a sports film.
It's a thing.
It's
hockey.
It's more than a thing. I think they did like 2.
Yeah.
I'm
about to say they brought it back. Yeah.
So
I've never actually seen it. I know Emilio Estevez is in it.
Me neither. I don't know about where you are, ladies and gentlemen, but I'll save this for it. I'll save it.
All right.
Let's get into our review of Bird.
All right.
But first, it's time for Trailer Talk.
Oh, what are we going to talk about in Trailer Talk?
Well, what we're going to talk about in Trailer Talk, Vincent, now that you asked me, is what I was going to say, because it wasn't really a big thing. Do you know that, and you don't like free plugs, Disney Plus is going to be premiering the Miss Marvel TV series?
Yes.
Tomorrow.
Yes, I was about to say tomorrow.
On Disney Plus. And I don't know about where you are, ladies and gentlemen, but here in Philadelphia, they actually are having a watch party for Miss Marvel at Amalgam Comics and Coffee House.
Oh, you should have said that during the show.
Well,
like, I don't want to plug Disney Plus.
Okay.
I don't want to plug Amalgam.
All right. Well, then we'll move it into the show.
Okay. Yeah.
How's that?
Yeah.
All right. So you can go to Amalgam Comics and Coffee House on 2578 Frankfurt Avenue here in Philadelphia tomorrow evening and join with their legion of fans.
The Amalgamation.
Mm-hmm. To watch the premiere episode of the new Ms. Marvel TV series on Disney Plus, featuring I don't know if she is the first Muslim superhero.
She absolutely is.
Is she the first?
I think she is.
Okay. Well, she's certainly the first to have a TV show.
Yeah.
I know that.
Oh, you meant like overall?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think she's not the
I don't think
first
she's first overall.
Yeah.
But the first one to have her own TV
Right.
show.
And certainly in the MCU.
Certainly.
Yeah.
And she's a huge character in Marvel Comics.
Yeah, absolutely.
So a big hit. And so hopefully that can translate over to the MCU. So I'm looking forward to that. Especially looking forward to that because while I appreciated them introducing America Chavez in the Doctor Strange movies, I don't feel like they did much with her in that movie. So to have this be totally centered around her, around the young character that is Ms. Marvel, I'm really excited for it.
Yeah. Look, you can tell they're slowly but surely they're seeding this next generation.
Yeah, because with that and Hawkeye,
Patriots grandson shows up. I mean, Elijah Bradley's grandson, Isaiah Bradley's grandson shows up in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, if you're paying attention.
Yeah, if you're paying attention. Because they don't make it like a spotlight them so much.
I'm sure we haven't seen the last of Scarlet Witch's kids.
I don't think so. I don't.
You know Marvel is not leaving the IP on the table.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
fair enough. And that was then America Chavez. So yeah, I'm looking forward.
And you know what they're doing? Like I think they're just really laying the groundwork for the introduction of the big gun, Miles Morales live action.
Oh yeah. Well, and I'm wondering how they're going to work that.
I mean, I think it's pretty easy.
No, it's not really easy because they want to keep their fingers on the pulse of that, and Miles Morales will still be under Sony.
I mean, they do whatever they did with the lawyers with Peter Parker,
and Miles Morales already has his own very successful
animated.
Yeah,
there's no way there's not going to be a live action Miles Morales in the next 5 years.
I mean, I would love to.
I would eat my hat if we don't see a live action Miles Morales by 2030.
Maybe he crosses over into the live action world at the end of the Spider-Verse sequel.
Well, they've already seeded it at the end of I forgot which Spider-Man, but the one with Donald Glover calling his nephew Miles, saying that he's going to be late.
Yeah.
So he's around.
He's around.
All right, he's definitely there.
I know.
So
yeah, I guess he is the big gun of that squad, right?
Oh yeah. There's no bigger gun than Miles Morales.
Yeah,
of that generation.
He is most certainly.
Yeah, Ms. Marvel is the next highest gun, the next biggest gun.
Yeah,
with Hawkeye kind of the third gun,
and then somehow they can maybe get to Riri, Iron Maiden.
She's got a show coming out.
Is hers animated too?
No.
It's going to be live?
No, the word is she's going to be in the new Black Panther.
Oh.
Yeah, Riri is already. That's why, like I said, you see what they're doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Aaron Fry says he's in for a double feature tomorrow of Obi-Wan and Miss Marvel.
That's not bad. Not bad.
I'm bored of Obi-Wan.
You're bored with I only watched the first episode.
I watched the first two. But look, I don't care how much danger they try to pack into this. Obi-Wan ain't dying.
Right.
Young Luke ain't dying.
Right.
Young Leia ain't dying.
Right. Darth Vader isn't dying.
Darth Vader ain't dying.
Right.
I don't care about anyone else.
Right.
So I don't.
It's the danger of the prequel.
I'm bored.
It's the danger of the prequel.
Yeah. Especially because it's characters that the future of. It's different with Boba Fett. There was something to build from there.
Sure. Or the Mandalorian.
None of them have touched the Mandalorian.
Yeah, I know.
Mandalorian was like insane.
Yeah.
Love Mandalorian.
Yeah. So
all right. That's enough of that.
That's enough of that nerd talk.
This has been nerd talk. Oh, one last thing.
Okay, one last thing.
Have you been watching, and this is for if George Kimona is out there, have you been watching Star Trek Strange New World?
I have.
I've been caught up.
Yes, and I've been enjoying it a great deal.
What did you think of the Spock Amok episode?
I thought it was fun.
So did I.
I thought it was fun. I love funny Spock. And we haven't had funny Spock since the movies.
No. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
You're
since the movies.
Yeah, so I really enjoyed it.
Really, probably since Voyage Home. Like, that's probably the last time we had funny Spock.
Yeah, because every time, you're right.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
So I like that dry humor.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it a lot.
And the actress that's playing T'Pring,
oh yeah,
she is fantastic.
Yeah,
like I actually want a T'Pring spinoff.
I like them fleshing out that character
and talking about. Okay, we're gonna get, and then we are going talking about knowing the future. When you remember how gangster T'Pring is in Amok Time, she was like, either you'll marry me, but then you'll go away, and I'll have your fortune, and I'll have whatever her dude's name is, or you let me out of the engagement, and I have what's his name. I said, oh, she is not playing.
Yeah. Which I like.
Always like T'Pring. I
like this because that came off so gangster, but this is the slow seeds.
Right. You see her headed that way.
Yeah. You know.
All right.
Really
that got real nerdy real quick.
We got really.
I'm glad that's in trailer talk.
Yeah, this will be totally established.
When they played the music at the beginning of the episode, every nerd on Earth said, "Ah!"
And it was beat for beat the fight.
Look,
including when human Spock's shirt
got cut across the front,
like Kirk. I was like,
I know.
I was like, oh, y'all know what y'all doing.
Y'all know what you're doing.
Y'all know what y'all doing. Stop playing with my emotions. Oh my God.
Now I gotta go to watch Amok Time.
Oh God. You know what movie I watched? All right, then we're gonna get to
all right, then we're gonna get.
And you probably know this. I rewatched Tropic Thunder the other day.
I love Tropic Thunder.
I love Tropic Thunder. And I catch something new on that movie all the time. There's a scene where Jack Black's character, because he's strung out on cocaine, and they've tied him to a tree to try to like get his shit out of the system. And he says, what does he says? Like he's trying to make a deal with somebody to he's like, hey guys, these ropes are real tight. You know, if y'all can just loosen up the ropes a little bit. That's fine. That's fine. That's all I'm asking. Just loosen up. Don't ignore me. I rewound that moment like about 12 times. I had never noticed that part before. I was like, oh my God, that's so funny. I was sitting here at the computer like, oh my God, that is so funny. He just don't ignore me.
Yeah. Tropic Thunder.
I love Tropic Thunder.
All right.
Let's go.
All right. We're doing Bird, and you're introducing it.
That's right. I don't have jack up for Bird.
You don't have nothing up. You just
because I was looking up Outsiders and all this.
Edward James Olmos in Blade Runner.
Bird, a 1988 American biographical film about jazz saxophonist Charlie Bird Parker, directed and produced by Clint Eastwood, starring Forest Whitaker. It is constructed as a montage of scenes from Charlie Parker's life from his childhood in Kansas City through his early death at the age of 34. This film, as I mentioned, from 1988, also stars in its cast Diane Venora, Michael Zaneker, Samuel Wright as Dizzy Gillespie, Keith David, blink and you'll miss them, John Witherspoon and Tony Todd, as well as Tony Cox, and Michaud Mission favorite Bill Cobbs shows up in this stop in Black Music Month on the Mission and Vincent's selection for this week. Vincent, what say you of Bird?
I think Bird is a great film to use to discuss the difference between a passion project and a vanity project.
Okay.
Background of Bird, as everyone knows, Clint Eastwood directed this film, and Clint Eastwood was really the driving force.
Yeah, to get it made. To
get this film made after it had been in development for a number of years. Richard Pryor was connected to it after the writer, the writer Joel Olinsky had written this script based on some remembrances of Charlie Parker that he had gotten from people. And Clint Eastwood is a noted music fan, and specifically a jazz aficionado. And Clint Eastwood talks about the effect that Charlie Parker had on him when Eastwood saw him perform
back in 1945 or something.
Right. So this really was a real passionate project for Clint Eastwood to make. And you have to appreciate that. If nothing else, you have to appreciate someone who has gotten the level of acclaim and the level of influence,
status
that Clint Eastwood had to make it. But we're here to talk about the film itself. And again, passion can drive and make something really affecting, or it can lead to indulgence and almost a myopic depiction that really only, appropriately enough, as we're celebrating Prince's birthday, and one of my favorite lines from Purple Rain, where Billy, the club owner, tells the kid, "Don't nobody understand your music but yourself." And this is Clint Eastwood's vision of this story. And that colors every aspect of this film, beginning with the length. This movie is 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Say that again.
This movie is 2 hours
and
40 minutes, which you would think that a film this length would be very comprehensive. You think about a film like Malcolm X, which clocks in about 3 hours.
Gandhi.
But both of these films, you get significant sequences at each step of these men's lives. This film focuses basically on the last 5 years of Charlie Parker's life. There are a couple of flashes in flashbacks, but really focus on the word flash. But a significant amount of this film takes place during Charlie Parker's marriage to his common law fourth wife, Chan Parker.
Yes, played by Dan Venora.
And this is because she was very open to Eastwood. She let him use her unpublished memoir, and more significantly, she had some recordings. That were integrated into the film that we'll talk about in a moment. And right from there, this is an almost 3-hour film, but it's only dealing with this relatively small portion of Parker's life. And then sadly and ironically, for it to be based on this relationship between Charlie Parker and his fourth wife, their relationship isn't fleshed out that well. Like you see them together, but it really is, except for moments here and there, this almost by the numbers exchange between the two actors. I think, as you mentioned, Chan Chan Parker is played by Anne Venor. I think she does okay.
Yeah.
But frankly, I think everybody in this film does okay.
Yeah.
With the luxury of hindsight, I was underwhelmed by Forest Whitaker just because I've seen Forest Whitaker do much better work.
Mm-hmm.
I understand how this may have been the breakout role for him,
mm-hmm.
which people say this is what kind of catapulted him into becoming Forest Whitaker. But almost 30 years later,
mm-hmm.
you see that this is nowhere near who Forest Whitaker was going to be. And again, except for a moment, there's a wonderful exchange between these two characters when their daughter is dying, where you get a sense of the tension and the stress that this life is putting on, that you get some life between them. But that's not really there throughout the film. So then the question becomes, well, at 2 hours and 40 minutes, what the hell was Eastwood doing with it?
Mm-hmm.
And I think what happens is there is a type of music fan. And using this as evidence, I think Clint Eastwood is one of these fans with Charlie Parker.
Okay.
There's a type of music fan that is so enamored with the myth of the troubled artist.
Mm-hmm.
Like more than the art itself, I'm really interested in the myth. Like, these are the people who talk about, you know, the 27 Club with Kurt Cobain and Jim Morrison and Jimi Hendrix and, you know, all the musicians who died when
Janis
they were
Joplin.
Janis Joplin, all, you know, Amy Winehouse,
Mm-hmm.
you know, all these musicians who died when they were 27.
Yeah.
Like, people kind of keep track of those, or they're much more interested in the East-West hip-hop beef that claimed the lives of Biggie and Tupac than the actual music of Biggie and Tupac. And I think there is a version of this that you see with this type of jazz fan, who they love to almost fetishize the drug use that ran rampant throughout a lot of these artists. And, you know, the drugs kind of propel them into playing better, or they're fighting their own demons and all this. And if there's one speed and theme that Clint Eastwood batters you over the head with, is that Charlie Parker was one of these tortured artists who's addicted to heroin, and this drives everything about him and his behavior. And it's a very superficial characterization. Like, you never understand why he's addicted to drugs. You never get a sense of how this affects his relationships around him, besides this very kind of cookie cutter, you know, he's not where he's supposed to be. He's sloppy. You know, sometimes his playing is affected, but nothing that deep.
Yeah.
And I think part of that speaks to another problem that this film has. The nuance that I'm talking about that I think you need with Charlie Parker comes, frankly, from presenting a fuller picture of Charlie Parker, which means you have to present a blacker picture of Charlie Parker. And I think this is a film, and I don't know who to point fingers at, the screenwriter or the director, but this is a film that is uncomfortable with blackness. For Charlie Parker to be this amazingly influential figure in jazz and in pop music towards the end, there's a lot of screen time where he's just surrounded by white people.
Yep.
Now, Chan Parker is his wife, and she's white. But, you know, he had 4 wives. And again, this is not a film that explores this time period because they want to explore this time period.
Mm-hmm.
Because this time period isn't really explored that well.
Not at
Again, the relationship between the Parkers, you don't really see. And then the bad part is, because this is a film that is uncomfortable with depicting blackness, you get 3 of the major storylines are kneecapped. You mentioned Dizzy Gillespie's character, who Dizzy Gillespie was a contemporary of Charlie Parker, you know, very, very much influential in his own right at this time, played by Samuel Wright.
Yes.
Every moment with Samuel Wright as Dizzy Gillespie, I just wanted more of Dizzy Gillespie.
Yes.
And Dizzy Gillespie's articulation of his place as a black man in this world. And this is something, you know, I'll give credit to the screenwriter, because this is in the script, is the type of meat that you want from Charlie Parker's story.
Exactly.
Buster Franklin, played by the magnificent Keith David, musician in his own right, apparently played a mentor to Parker and another, you know, a number of saxophone players. There's this amazingly evocative moment towards the end of the film where you see how Buster Franklin's style has been changing and how he's responding to this moment on the cusp of rock and roll.
Yep.
That is extraordinary.
Yes.
And again, you want this. You mentioned Bill Cobbs, and maybe we're just suckers for Bill Cobbs, but Bill Cobbs, who plays Dr. Caulfield, who is a family friend of the Parkers. We see him when he basically tries to scare Charlie Parker straight.
Yeah.
When Parker is a teenager. But then we see him in France, where he's moved to Paris, as many black men did during this time. And they have this wonderful exchange about being black in America and being black in Paris, and the pros and cons. But again, this is a moment that comes and goes.
Yeah.
Talking about his drug addiction. Look, let me look. I'm not a Charlie Parker. Like, Charlie Parker isn't one of my guys, so I don't know a lot about Charlie Parker.
Oh, really? I thought he was.
He's not one of my guys.
Okay.
But one thing that fascinates me about Charlie Parker is a lot of jazz historians talk about the influence that he had for good and bad. But part of the bad was a lot of jazz players who were younger than Charlie Parker got into drugs, emulating Parker.
Yes.
You see a moment, you see a bit of this with the character
Red.
But again, this is a white musician. Like, how do you choose a white musician to illustrate
that
this part of it? And that again just undermines some of the meat to it. Finally, this is the second week in a row they mentioned it a little bit in Miles Ahead, but the politics of the cabaret card and how black musicians couldn't get a cabaret card, and frankly, the racism behind how drugs were criminalized and connected to the cabaret card. This is all, and this very much affected Charlie Parker's career.
Yeah.
They allude to it, they mention it, but you never really get an exploration of it, because Clint Eastwood's Bird is not interested in this aspect of his life. So you have this whole part that's just cut off. And then, irony of ironies, if the driving force of this film, which I think you can argue it is, was Clint Eastwood getting his hands on this unreleased Charlie Parker music and basically building a film around it. And I read a lot about the development of the film. And everything that you read talks about how they isolated Charlie Parker's parts, and then they built out from there. They brought in other other musicians,
Yeah.
and then they built up. But it sounded weird to me, and I couldn't figure out. The music sounded weird to me, and I couldn't figure out why it sounded weird until I finished the movie, and then started reading some criticism of the movie. You know, you watch the movie, like you read about the development, but you don't read any reviews because you don't want it to color your own reviews. But then when I read some criticism, Stanley Crouch, who was one of the most vocal critics of this film, pointed out how wrong-headed that is to isolate Charlie Parker's parts, because jazz is collaborative. Like what makes jazz work is the players bouncing off of each other. So if you remove Charlie Parker's solos and his playing from the context in which it's being played, it's like you're putting together two disparate puzzle pieces, so that even that doesn't really work. But again, for Clint Eastwood, who always cites this as one of his favorite films. Like I read an interview with him from, I think, 2017, where he said this is in his top 5 favorite films that he's directed to this day. This is what he's interested in. He's interested in the legend of Charlie Parker, I think, more than, frankly, what makes Charlie Parker Parker. Are there some, you know, some things you can celebrate in here? Yeah, I think even at this point, even though God knows he needs an editor, you can tell Clint Eastwood is a solid director.
Oh yeah.
There's a wonderful tracking shot where the film highlights a hallway filled with saxophone players. That is amazing. There's a moment where Charlie Parker emerges from a smoky doorway and takes the stage. That is fantastic. You know, the costuming, the sets, like everything, again, is very lovingly put together. But ultimately, as many critics said in 88, and frankly, I think I landed on this reading with them, this is a film that is interesting to Clint Eastwood, but I don't know how much appeal it would hold or holds for other people.
Yeah, me neither. And I think the reason for this, and I looked at it to make sure, you know, at this time in 1988, Clint Eastwood is a celebrated director at this time. However, all of the films that he had directed, he starred in. So this was the first one that he is not the star of. And I think that proves a bit of a detriment, because I think that when you are the star, especially a star of Clint Eastwood's magnitude, and you are the director, but also sharing the scenes with actors, then first of all, actors want to share the scene with you because you're Clint Eastwood. And 2, they are feeding off of you, because Clint Eastwood, he's not the most nuanced actor, but he is a presence when he is on a set. And this film, very young in Forest Whitaker's career, Forest Whitaker, a man who would developed into someone who can definitely fill out a screen. He's not there at holding your attention, nor being the star upon which all your other actors are kind of like pulling energy from. And I don't think at this juncture, because this is his first time not being in front of the camera as well, Clint Eastwood is as skilled as working with actors as opposed to moving his camera around. And famously, he's known for being quick on a set. So that kind of like speaks to like, hey, I stay out of the actor's way. You know, I cast the thing, I cast what I think are good actors, and I stay out of their way, and then I just do my thing. I also think that the weight of this film jumps back and forth through time. There is a scene that is established near the top of Charlie sharing the stage with Dizzy Gillespie's band, and we return to that scene throughout the film from different points of view. Sometimes we return to it from Charlie's point of view. We return to it from Shan's point of view, from Disney's point of view, from like his manager's point of view. And each time it reveals something different about that scene. And I think the way that Clint Eastwood is moving in and out of time with that scene throughout the movie is new to him. That's certainly not anything that I had seen in any of his films prior to this. I felt that a lot of this film, as much as like I herald him, he's heralded as being like a jazz aficionado. I felt a lot of this was Clint taking the opportunity to go to film school and try a lot of the things that he wouldn't try on a movie that he's doing. But on this one, I'm going to try it. I'm going to play around with the storyline a little bit. I'm going to try and play with this tracking shot. Like you mentioned, the tracking shot. I'm going to mess around with the lighting a little. And I think the word you use is very apt, superficial. Everything else gives way to him just having fun with making a movie. I think that you're right. He's not interested in interrogating Charlie Parker's life, his foibles, why he became the man that he was. He's not interested in that, despite the film opening with Charlie Parker as a kid and racing through 2 or 3 scenes of him as a teenager, played by Forest Whitaker's, I think, nephew, who he may want to get a DNA test because his nephew. I'm just saying, get a DNA test, bro. That's all I'm saying. But very well,
yeah.
But he races through those scenes, and those scenes add nothing to the commentary on Charlie Parker's life as we come to see it throughout the rest of the film. It does jump to his relationship with Chan, and it gives a little lip service to, she mentions to him about how, I think I'm the only woman in town that you haven't slept with. Everyone out there, has a ring. And his line is like, well, rings are cheap. Yes. Which I actually think is a good line. I mean, it's icky, but I think as a written line, it's a good line. So bravo to the script in that regards. But yeah, but after that, I'd feel there's very little chemistry between Forest Whitaker and Diane Venora. And the direction doesn't help it at all. I think the film jumps from place to place. We're in California, we're in the South, we're in Chicago, we're in New York, and I don't think it does a good job of establishing any of those places. Right,
you can't really tell the difference.
You really cannot tell the difference at all. I mean, when they're on the road because they're in the car. Right. Outside of that, you really can't tell the difference.
Right.
And because of that, it's hard to keep track of the time, what space we are in, especially with, as I mentioned, the movie is now moving back and forth through this one scene that keeps returning to show you some other aspect of what's happening in that scene. That scene again doesn't do anything to investigate exactly who Charlie Parker is. There's no investigation of Charlie Parker. There's no investigation of his music. Right. I mean, this is all the trappings for Clint Eastwood to just have fun with the camera.
There's and again, just to piggyback on what you just said, It's one thing to say that there's no investigation of Charlie Parker, the person, but this film really lets down an investigation of the music.
Yeah.
There's a moment that I almost threw my notebook at the screen where Charlie Parker is talking about the moment where he came up with his style.
Yes.
You know, he talks about playing the song over and over again and basically had gotten bored with it. So then he started to deconstruct it.
Yes.
And I said, why in the hell wouldn't you dramatize this?
Yes.
Why is Forest Whitaker sitting there telling us this story?
Why is it not showing?
We should see this. Like, this is the moment. And it's like the film doesn't even care enough to show that.
Especially because when he says that, think of where he is in his life at that moment. Like, why are you there now? You know what I mean? Because he's at a very down moment at that time. So there's it boggles the freaking mind. It really is.
Look,
it's annoying.
Look, and I'll say this, because I did want to be clear that we watched the film before you went to the reviews.
Oh yeah,
because there is a whole world of criticism of this film, to the point, even the minute thing of Charlie Parker's contemporaries say he didn't even move, like all that thrusting that he did on stage in the film. He didn't even move like that.
Yeah. And that was one thing that really bothered me, and I kind of just wrote it off as Forest Whitaker being a younger actor at this time.
Right, but if you're depicting a real person, and part of your argument for this film is that I'm going to show you this person that you don't know. I talked about the music sounding funny because it was removed from the context of the collaboration from everyone else on stage. Talking about the film's discomfort with demonstrating blackness.
Oh, yeah.
One of the things that jazz does is you have this almost competition between the players going back and forth. And that's another level of criticism that this film got, especially from Parker's contemporaries. They talk about how competitive and how aggressive Parker was on stage. And they would go back and forth. And, you know, like I said, I'm not a Charlie Parker guy, but I think about the couple of recordings I've heard with Charlie Parker and Dizzy Gillespie playing together, and they're battling. Like, you can hear it, them going back and forth against each other. None of that is there.
None of
that is there. And talking about that, I will say many good things came out of this film. Like, a lot of responses to this film came, like Spike Lee talked about the fact that in a lot of ways, Mo Better Blues is a direct answer to the way he sees the stereotyped ways that jazz musicians are depicted in this film. Stanley Crouch has a beautiful essay in a book. I actually bought the book of essays today, but there's a beautiful essay if you can find it. I couldn't find it online, which then meant I had to buy the collection. Birdland, Charlie Parker, Clint Eastwood, and America, which was published in a collection considering genius writings on jazz. Just beautiful music criticism. But Stanley Crouch basically had to put his money where his mouth was.
Okay.
After, say, okay, well, if you think you can do better, talking about Bird did it. And he wrote the really well-renowned biography of Bird, which of course I lost because I was so busy doing other stuff, messing around with you. And I lost the page, lost the name of it. Kansas City Lightning.
Okay.
Kansas City Lightning, which is a well-renowned. I haven't read it, but it's now on my list of books to go ahead and read. But I remember hearing about it. Many would argue the definitive biography of Charlie Parker. So, if nothing else, this film served as a launching point
for people
to respond to it.
Yeah.
And, give credit where credit is due. I don't know if someone would have made a film about Charlie Parker, or if someone would have been able to make a film about Charlie Parker besides Clint Eastwood. Certainly in 1988. Certainly in 1988. And frankly, as we sit here, no one's made another film about him.
No, they have not.
So,
well, I mean, you look out there and you say, well, there's a 3-hour movie about him.
Right.
What else could I do?
What else could I do? Right.
Little do you know.
Little do you know.
There's a lot to be mined.
It's fascinating because I do think it's a film people might know about.
Yeah, you know about it.
But it was a commercial failure.
Yes, it was.
It was a commercial failure. And I think it's the second worst performing film in Eastwood's career that he directed. But I think people know about it.
Yeah, you know about it.
But I don't know how many people have actually seen it.
Probably not a lot of people. Like you said, the acting doesn't do it any justice. To be honest, the trailer is not the most, scintillating piece of editing either.
This is the first time I've seen it. I realize I've never seen it before.
Keith David shows up and then he's gone.
I know.
He's gone for most of the movie.
I know. He's got
two
scenes.
You're asked to care about what happens with him, but why? He's been gone for an hour and a half.
Right.
And the person that's been there that you want a little bit more of, which is Dizzy, you don't get until the end. So I just found this movie overall to be a bit of a mess. I'm happy that I saw it.
Right.
I'm happy that it exists.
Yes.
But I do feel that it's a failure. But with that in mind, would you recommend that people watch Bird?
I would not.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I would not recommend people watch Bird. If anything, like I said, I would look up the 2 Stanley Crouch readings that I talked about. I actually think it's worth watching Mo Better Blues, knowing that part of the impetus for the film was Spike Lee responding to this.
Okay.
But Bird itself, I can't make an argument.
I can't make an argument either. And unfortunately, the story of Charlie Parker, who died from complications from his addiction, let's say that. And while it wasn't technically the addiction, he suffered with bleeding ulcers, psoriasis, and ultimately did him in at 34 years old. Unfortunately, that story of the jazz legend gone too soon is not an unfamiliar story.
Yeah. So
I think you are better served just enjoying some Charlie Parker.
Yeah. The last thing I will recommend, there's a wonderful children's book. Is one of my kids' favorite books. Still one of Adam's, called Charlie Parker Plays Bebop.
Oh, really?
That is so wonderful. Chris Roshka wrote it. Okay. So,
well, there you go.
If you have any children in your life, Charlie Parker Plays Bebop. He has another book called Mysterious Thelonious. That's also.
Oh, I do. I know that book.
You know Mysterious Thelonious?
Yeah.
But Charlie Parker Plays Bebop is fantastic.
Oh, pretty cool.
That's everyone go buy a copy of Charlie Parker Plays Bebop.
And then listen to some Bebop.
Charlie Parker. There you go.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, before we get into what we're going to be reviewing next week, Miss Makiba, she says, my youngest son looks more like my sister's kid than he looks like me. Hashtag DNA test.
Yeah. Genetics are weird.
Yeah, they are. All right. Before we get into what we're going to be reviewing next week, ladies and gentlemen, I invite you to check out the Me Show Mission, 2 Men, 1 podcast. Every Black film ever made, the Me Show Mission is produced by Vincent Williams and Len Webb. It is edited by Len Webb, co-produced by Maurice Poplar. Our social media is handled by Toya Haynes. Our theme song comes from Alexa Gold. You can check out our website, MichelleMission.com, and hit swag where you can check out all the cool designs and gifts that we have available by our good friends at TeePublic. Email us at MichelleMission@gmail.com. Hit our voicemail with 215-867-9666. Tell us what's on your mind. Follow the Michelle Mission on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Michelle Mission. Subscribe on YouTube and Twitch at Michelle Mission, and subscribe wherever you find your favorite podcast, where we invite you to please give us a 5-star rating and a review, especially if it's on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, because those are the biggest distributor of podcasts, and it really helps us gain in their algorithms. And don't forget, the Michelle Mission is a proud member of The Podglomerate, thepodglomerate.com. We make podcasts work. Next week, we are still in Black Music Month. It is my turn.
Yes, it is.
And we are going to a film that I think I saw.
Okay.
But I'm not sure I finished.
Okay.
And it's from 2014. And it stars the late Chadwick Boseman in Get On Up.
Get On Up.
The James Brown story.
Yes.
What?
Nothing.
Okay.
Looking forward to that.
I'm looking forward to that too, ladies and gentlemen, next week here on the Michelle Mission. Until then, he's Vince, I'm Len, and in parting we say,
we'll see you when it's time to meet again.